Hi, welcome to Block Show. I'm Jarvis, and here I share practical knowledge about Web3 and blockchain for you. Today, we're here to really unpack the essential insights for you, and we're tackling a really big question, one that's fundamental to Bitcoin. How security is it? You hear these questions all the time, right? Is it just some code? Who actually in charge? Our mission today is to cut through that confusion and demystify Bitcoin's clever security system, showing you how it operates like a decentralized fortress. It's a great topic because Bitcoin's design really turns our usual ideas about control and vulnerability on their head. It makes you stop and think, how can something holding so much value, processing trillions of dollars, work so reliably without anyone being in charge? No central bank, no company. It's not just about the tech, it hints at a completely new way of establishing trust. So let's start with the first question. Who is running Bitcoin's code? It's tempting to picture a huge Google data center or something, but that's not how it works. Bitcoin actually runs on thousands upon thousands of ordinary computers all around the world. People voluntarily run the software, participating as what they call nodes. This could be a laptop in Tokyo or a server in someone's basement in Ohio. Think of it more like a swarm of bees. You could take out a few bees, sure, but the swarm itself just keeps going. That distribution is key for trustworthiness because there are complete backups everywhere on thousands of computers. This makes it incredibly resistant to attack or censorship. There's no single server you can switch off, no CEO who can decide to shut it down. No one can just pull the plug. That's the power of decentralization you hear about. No central point of failure, no single boss. Okay, but that leads to another critical question. If anyone can download this open source code, why can some smart hacker just sneak in a change, modify it secretly, and maybe give themselves a bunch of Bitcoin? This is a really common concern, and the answer lies in something called consensus. Bitcoin is essentially the world's biggest public ledger, like a giant shared spreadsheet that everyone holds an identical copy of. This ledger operates under very strict, unified rules that are baked into the code everyone runs. These are simple rules like you can't spend someone else's money, or you can't spend the same money twice. When someone wants to make a transaction, they broadcast it to the network. All those nodes, those thousands of computers independently check it. They ask, does it follow the rules? Does the sender actually have the money? It's like mutual supervision, where everyone's checking everyone else's work. Now, imagine someone tries to cheat. Let's say Tom tries to broadcast a transaction saying, all of Sarah's money now belongs to me. The moment he sends it out, the other nodes will see that it doesn't follow the rules. They will instantly see Tom doesn't own Sarah's money and that the transaction is invalid, so they just reject it. His node gets isolated by the entire network for trying to pass off the fake transaction. His version of the ledger, the one where he has Sarah's money, become worthless. It's like trying to spend monopoly money in a real store. It's worthless because it doesn't match the version everyone else agreed on. The Bitcoin network always trusts the version of the ledger that the vast majority recognize as valid according to the rules. But what about changing the rules themselves? That's also incredibly difficult. Changing the fundamental rules of Bitcoin requires overwhelming consensus. You need well over 95% of all network participants, miners, nodes, developers, users to voluntarily agree and choose to run the new software with the changed rules. Getting that level of agreement across a global decentralized network is much harder than running for president. This makes any kind of secret backdoor change completely impossible. This paints a picture of serious resilience, but Bitcoin still runs on the regular internet we all use. Why isn't it constantly cribbed by network attacks like denial of service attacks? That highlights another layer of the design. While it used the internet for transmission, think of it this way. The internet is a huge sprawling highway system, and Bitcoin transactions are like heavily armored trucks moving on that highway. Sure, bad actors could try to damage part of the highway, cause traffic jams, or block a few roads, but the armored truck itself is secure. Its data is encrypted in layers, its vault basically impregnable. Not a single asset inside that truck is going to be lost just because the road is bumpy or blocked. The transaction data itself is secure, even if the delivery path is temporarily messed up. When the connection normalized, or the truck finds another road, the transaction just continues on its way. The system simply rolls around the damage. This security isn't a lucky accident. It's deeply designed in. It comes down to three core pillars working together. First, you have cryptography. Bitcoin uses battle-tested encryption, specifically cryptographic hashing. Think of the blockchain like a diary where every page is mathematically linked to the previous one with a unique code, a hash. If you try to go back and secretly change an earlier page, it breaks the link, the hash changes, and that immediately invalidates all the pages that comes after it. The change is instantly detectable. The second pillar is the decentralized network itself. Having the entire ledger copy and spread across tens of thousands of computers all over the world means there's no single point of attack. There's no central database to hack, no server room to flood. This provides extreme resilience and ensures the system almost never goes down. The third pillar is the consensus mechanism, particularly proof of work. This secures the ongoing addition of new transactions. To successfully attack the network by, say, trying to rewrite recent history, an attacker would need to control more than 51% of the entire network's computing power. The sheer amount of specialized hardware and electricity required to achieve that today is staggering, likely costing hundreds of billions of dollars. It's prohibitively expensive. But even if someone could afford it, think about what would happen. The moment the network realized it was under a 51 attack, trust in bitcoins would plummet and the price would likely collapse. The hackers would destroy the value of the very thing they spent billions trying to control. The economic incentive is completely flipped. It's far more profitable to just use that computing power honestly to maintain the network and earn the Bitcoin's reward. So those three pillars, unbreakable cryptographic, a resilient decentralized network, and an economic consensus that makes attacking irrational work together. They guarantee that historical records can't be altered, and the system itself basically never shuts down. And that's why Bitcoin has managed to operate securely for 15 years, processing trillions of dollars in value, all without any central management. It's a combination of mathematics, cryptography, economics, and even game theory. What this all really means is that Bitcoin demonstrates a fundamentally new model for trust. It shows us that we can build a reliable network for transferring value just using mathematics and code without necessarily needing to rely on traditional authorities like banks or governments. That's a powerful idea. So think about that. This new model of trust built purely on math and code, where else could this apply beyond just finance? What other parts of our lives might be reimagined if we could rely more on this kind of system instead of always needing a central authority? What possibilities does that open up for you personally? Something to think about.